How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to New Mexico State Men's Basketball News. I'm Marshall, and in today's video, I'm giving you guys a long-awaited one talking about head coach Zach Settembre at New Mexico Highlands. And he used to be an assistant coach at New Mexico State a few years ago, or not at this past season, but the season before, for Coach Hooten, his first year of the rebuild. He has a lot of experience coaching at other D1 schools and just other schools in general. We're talking about, how he worked his way up into that, how he's a student manager, now how he's a head coach at the Division II level, and I'm sure he can be good enough to work his way up to the Division I level eventually. I know New Mexico Highlands has been great at basketball for some time, so hopefully he can get them over the hump and get them to a winning season. I know Eastern New Mexico, not sure how good they were this year, but I know last year they were really good, made their Division II tournament for the first time in a long time. I think they went like 22-9 or something. They had some guy who is actually from New Mexico who I played against in high school who's really dominant, played at Highland and Albuquerque. So a lot of Highlands talking about in this video. There's also some players that the Aggies have offered that could be really good that I will talk about briefly after we talk about the main highlight of the video, Zach Settembre. And Trevelin Queen had a great game last night against the Pacers. We're talking a little bit about that. I was thinking about making individual videos for all those, but they'll all be pretty short, and so I decided to put it all into one with the main highlight being Zach Settembre. So let's get straight into this video. So first things first, I think it's kind of funny to point out that he's actually from Louisville, Kentucky, and last year we actually played against Louisville in a game, so it's kind of a homecoming for him, and I believe one of our other assistant coaches is also from there too, so it's a pretty cool homecoming for them. He graduated from, I think it was St. Xavier High School or something like that, so congratulations to him on that. He was actually a student manager at Syracuse, which is huge. That's a big school. I have some friends who have siblings that went there, and they talk about how great of a school it is, how great of a campus it is, how the dorms are, and just how it's a nice university in general. The facilities are really nice for the sports and just in general. So for him to be at a big school like that's awesome. Obviously, Carmelo Anthony went there. Syracuse has some really good basketball teams. I love Carmelo Anthony. He's a former Blazer. He's actually the Blazers game last night against the Warriors. That's pretty cool to see. A lot of times, that's how coaches will start off. They'll start off as student managers for their respective program or team that they're at. You see a lot of guys here at NMSU do that, work their way up to roles like assistant coaching or graduate assistants, and then work their way up to being a head coach someday. And that's exactly the route that Settembre has been taking. He also helped coach former Aggie head coach Chris Jans at Mississippi State. So I wonder if he had some familiarity with NMSU just because of that. And obviously, Coach Hooten and Chris Jans have gone against each other, so I'm sure they've had some conversations and are cool with each other. I believe they follow each other on social media, so that's cool. And they're both similar coaching. Both similar coaches, both have similar coaching styles, defense, and all that. So Settembre obviously joined the Aggies after he was with Mississippi State. And was a great assistant coach for us, did a lot of great things. Talked to him a few times. He actually went to my church, so that was pretty cool. And he kept in contact with me. Said a lot of great things about the channel and the accounts. He really supported it and said how grateful he was for it and how much he appreciated me doing what I do for the team and stuff. So appreciate you, man. There are going to be times before games where he would always come to me and my friends in the student section, there's other people too, just saying, hey, so thankful for you guys come out to the game. Just little things like that just goes to show you how much he really cares about the programs he's been a part of. Even though he's not part of NMSU anymore, he still has a lot of love and respect. I made that post about him last night actually, and he liked them all on Twitter, Instagram, maybe he did here too, I'm not sure. But he still loves us, and that's great. He also helped coach at Wake Forest, which was also huge. We had this guy, Davion Bradford, who didn't play for the Aggies, in coaching his first year. He was on the team, but didn't play, didn't have a waiver get signed, ended up going to a different school. But there's some familiarity there as well. Coach Hooten has a lot of high praise for this guy, and a lot of people on Twitter really have a whole lot of high praise for him. I mean, I know myself, I do. James Baca, I believe even Adam Young was saying some good things about it. He's definitely a guy we missed, but he'll be a great head coach, I believe. And who knows? We scheduled Highlands this past year and a couple years ago. We're 10-0 against them all the time, I believe. And hey, possibly we could play them in the first game of the season next year. I think that'd be really cool. And playing against Western New Mexico would also be really cool because Keelan Dorsey's there, former Aggie player. So to go against another player and then a former coach would be awesome to do in the same season, that first span. Who knows, maybe we'll play Western in a exhibition game like we did this last year and we've done in the past, and then play Highlands in the first game, or maybe we play them both regular season games, or maybe Highlands is a practice game and then Western's like an actual game. We'll see how it plays out. I think it'd be really cool to get those matchups, and I'm sure Hooten has obviously hit those connections, and I'm sure we'll work something out. And like I said in the past, I believe there's a rule where we had to play at least Highlands, Western, possibly Eastern, or not MJC. Who am I thinking of? Southwest. There's always those teams got to play, or Northern New Mexico. Like I think us and UNM always have to play those teams, or even other schools like other Division schools like Eastern New Mexico, like we mentioned a couple times. They all have to play against each other, even though it's different levels. There's some rule like that. I can't remember exactly. Maybe I could make a video talking about that. I think that'd be pretty cool. So let me know if you guys want that. I almost forgot to mention he was at Tarleton State last year as an assistant coach. So again, it's a lot of great experience for him in assistant coaching. Now he's finally getting a head coaching gig at the Division II level. I think all the experience he has, helping with Division I teams, it's definitely going to help him at the Division II level. And I really hope he works his way up into being a really good coach. Really rooting for the best for him. Obviously, when the Aggies play against him, if we do, obviously he's going to want us to destroy him. But I want him to just lead them to a lot of wins. Like if they play against UNM, I know obviously it doesn't happen too often where D2 teams beat D1 teams, especially, NMSU and UNM were pretty, good when it comes to beating those teams. But it'd be awesome if Highlands could beat UNM. Obviously not us, but it'd be cool if they could beat UNM. And if we beat UNM as well next year at home, we'll just have to see how it all plays out. It's funny because the Highlands, their team name's the Cowboys. A lot of people hate the Dallas Cowboys, including myself. But this is the Cowboys we can kind of root for just because our boy's there. So, yeah. Now that we've touched on Settembre, I want to talk a little bit about some players that the Aggies are looking at that they could possibly land that they've offered. One of them is Braxton Bayless, who actually played at Western Kentucky, so if that name sounds familiar, that's obviously why. Played against us a few times, dominated us a few times, shot the ball really well. Averaged about 8 points a game, but shot 43% from the field. Got a couple rebounds, a couple assists. Just a little bit of an all-around player. Not sure how great his defense is. Again, I know Coach Hoon loves his defense. I know we talk about that all the time. But I know on the offensive side of the ball, he can do a lot of great things. But I also know he has offers from a bunch of other schools. I believe UNM's also offered him, and some California schools, I believe. So he's got a lot of options. I think he has at least 10 schools looking at him. So it'll be hard to pick him up possibly. But since he has familiarity with, NMSU, he has some of those ties, possibly just with Conference USA. I mean, Jordan Rawls played at Western Kentucky twice and then came to play with the Aggies. So maybe Braxton Bayless could be a guy like that. He's only there for 1 year. So we 1-1 against him. Obviously, that one time when they dominated against us, he was hitting some threes. Past time, not sure how good he did, but obviously we beat him by a lot, and they didn't shoot the ball great. So I'm assuming he didn't shoot the ball great, but maybe he could shoot the ball great with us. So that'd be cool to see. Another guy who we've offered that I was kind of surprised that we did is Adrian Tracy. He's was at Oregon the past few years. Averaged about 7 points a game, shot the ball relatively well, played some good defense. And overall, solid player, played about 22 minutes a game. Really solid role player at Oregon. So I mean, if you were to come to NMSU and Conference USA, him having that experience playing at a really good program like Oregon and a really big school like that in the Big Ten, I feel like he could really benefit the Aggies greatly and just be a solid contributor for us. But again, he's another guy that has a bunch of offers as well from some bigger schools and from some smaller schools. Not sure if he'll come here or not, but we'll have to see. That Vaughn Weems guy, by the way, did commit to Nevada, unfortunately. Wish he would have came here. I feel like Nevada and us are definitely the two best programs he had narrowed the schools down to. But the fact that, a great player like that considered coming here is huge. And I feel like we can definitely get some players just like him, or hopefully maybe some players that are better than him possibly. So we'll see how that all goes. Forgot to mention Braxton Bayless. He actually did average about a steal a game. So when we're talking about the defense and stuff, steals aren't always a good indicator. I haven't seen a whole lot of highlight film on him. But if he's averaging about a steal per game in his college career, that's pretty huge. It's something that like Deontay did with us and his other schools he was at. He averaged about the same amount of points as Deontay. Probably a little bit better of a shooter than him. So hopefully he can come and do a lot of great things. I know, again, Deontay was a guy I really hyped up. Didn't do as great as I thought he was going to do scoring the ball. But did a lot of great things as well on the defensive end. Really getting teammates involved. It was just a tremendous point guard for us and really glad we had him for the year that we did. When it comes to other things of how our team's looking, again, not sure where Zadi's going. Again, I've still seen him on campus. I know Jaden entered the portal, seen him here and there. Peter, not sure what he's doing. Hopefully we get some of those guys back. If not, we already have that Anthony guy coming in. Gabe, Jacoby, and Marvin are pretty much 99% locked to stay, I would say. And then we have those two really good freshmen coming in, Omar and Ekwe. Really good guard, really athletic. I mean, I saw some highlights the other day, and I posted on the Instagram story, so I'm sure you guys saw it. Wow, he can get up. Those were tremendous plays. He was just throwing some shots up there, and they're not going in. So hopefully, he can do that with us. Ekwe's a really dominant post. Again, hopefully we get some more posts. Some of the comments I've been seeing saying that, yeah, we got to, get bigger, and that would be huge to have, especially in Conference USA. I feel like that we can really separate ourselves with that. Jacksonville State has some really good posts, like the number 50 guy. That was awesome. If we get a guy like him, that'd be great to have for sure. Last but not least for the video, going to be talking about former Aggie Trevelin Queen, who just dominated yesterday. Had a career high 25 points. When I made my post, I should have mentioned that it was a career high. I totally forgot to do that, but it is what it is. It's the past. I can go back and fix it if I really need to. But 25 points is great. Had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. Shot the ball really well. 9 for 11 from the field, 5 for 6 from 3, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Not sure how much he turned it over, how many fouls he got, but his style of play just, he doesn't really turn the ball over a whole lot. He's a really smart player, did a lot of great things. And even if he did turn over the ball or foul a little bit, definitely, didn't mess with his stats or his game. No one's talking about that. He did a lot of great things. Against his former team, the Pacers, he played for them. Again, the Aggies, obviously, Pacers have Pascal. So they have 2 former Aggies that played for them and stuff. So after the game, it showed Trevelin, dabbing up some of his, former teammates, former coaches and stuff. It would have been cool if Pascal did play. He did not. I'll probably make a post about Pascal soon because tomorrow's the last regular season game for all 30 NBA teams. So 15 games going on tomorrow, just like yesterday. No games today. Everyone's got 1 game left. And before yesterday, obviously everyone had 2 games left. probably make a post just talking about Pascal's season. Trevelin Queen's having his best NBA statistical season, averaging about 5 points a game. In the G League, obviously dominating. His G League team, the Magic, they're actually in the G League finals against the the Stockton Kings, but he didn't play in that first game because he was playing in the NBA, obviously. So not sure if he'll play in any of those G League games. Possibly, we'll have to wait and see. But they might want him for playoffs. And I feel like Trevelin should be in the rotation. I feel like when he plays, the Magic do a lot better. Because at the start of the year, when he had that game, we had like 17 points against the Celtics, and they won. They were winning a lot of games when he was starting a few games, and then they started losing a lot when he wasn't playing. Now he's playing a lot, and they won. I know it's toward the end of the year. A lot of players are getting their rest and stuff. But I would love to see him more in the rotation. And I feel like there's some teams out there, at least half the teams in the league, that could use him. Even possibly my Blazers would be awesome having him off the bench. So we'll see how that goes. Overall, it's going to close up for the video. I'm glad I was able to touch on Zach Settembre finally. Look at that video, touch on some possible future Aggies we could get, and a former Aggie in Trevelin Queen, one of the greatest to ever do it here at NMSU. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please keep up with the channel. I'll continue to update you guys with anything that I see, anything that comes to mind. And I'm out.